All right, everybody, a little instant reaction to the Poona Ford signing by the Bills today. A 6 foot, maybe a shade under, 305, 310 wide body defensive tackle. Super interesting. The Bills had talked about getting another defensive tackle, but more so maybe for the future to have under contract long term because everybody on the interior of the defensive line is only signed to 1 year, including Poona Ford. This is the 8th player now under contract for this year at defensive tackle, only for 1 year. So I guess Brandon Beane and company are just going to let this year play out and then attack it next season and see where they're at. They didn't force the issue in the draft or this offseason as far as, going out and signing anybody to a long-term deal. But also, they waited until the compensatory pick formula was done. So what I'm saying is signing Poona Ford won't impact that. The Bills are in line to get a third next year by losing Tremaine Edmonds. So this player in particular, though, he comes into the league as a undrafted free agent in 2018 by the Seattle Seahawks and really established himself as a very good run defender. And then he got a lot better as a penetrating pass rusher as well. He's athletic for a big man. He can move down the line of scrimmage. But what happened was last year, even though his numbers were good, he had 3 sacks. Last year, the Seahawks went from a 4-3 to a 3-4, and he kind of was miscast. They didn't use him really the correct way. They're trying to figure that out. And I think that maybe that's the reason why he was still out there and them kind of figuring out what to do with him this year as far as bringing him back. But Pete Carroll said he wanted to. He talked highly of him. Calls him Pooh, by the way, so I guess we can all call him Pooh. But the Bills get a defensive tackle to add to the mix. And Sean McDermott gets another option to put in the interior. I'm super interested in how McDermott's going to be calling this defense this year. He's putting the onus on him to call the defense, to be the coordinator, to be the play caller. Taylor Rapp at safety, the signing there is very interesting to me. They're going undersized at middle linebacker. Are we going to see more 3 safety looks? What does that mean for Taron Johnson? How much he plays in the nickel versus maybe a nickel linebacker, a big nickel like Sean's been known to run, and especially back in his Carolina days. So I'm really interested in how this signing affects going forward with the Bills, and really especially Sean McDermott and his defensive play calling this year and his philosophy and his scheme. In the meantime, we'll have much more for you on It's Always Game Day in Buffalo. Matt Bove and I are going to be breaking it down later this week. Subscribe to the podcast on the audio version, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you pod, and also, of course, right here on the YouTube channel, Sal Sports. I'll be on WGR and the Extra Point Show, 10 to 12 with Joe DiBiase the rest of this week as well. And, of course, don't forget the Mike North podcast. The schedule is going to be released in just over a week. I can't wait. It's going to be super interesting. Listen to the podcast we did with Mike North. Watch it right here on the YouTube channel. The VP of Broadcasting giving us some pretty cool nuggets about the schedule. All right, I'll talk to you again down the road soon.